This video is sponsored by Squarespace, the all-in-one platform to build a beautiful online presence. And we're gonna head out in a second and go to the library. 12:19 AM. We are so close to 80k. Hello everyone and welcome to another video. Today we are going to be continuing this little video series that I've started doing where I try out the various routines of different writers. So I began with Haruki Murakami. I did his 4 AM writing routine, which was particularly grueling, and I also did Virginia Woolf's journaling routine, which I got a lot out of as well. In this video I'm going to be attempting the writing routine of one of my favorite authors of all time, Donna Tartt.
Writing a book is one level deeper than reading a book. It's really fun. It's hard at times, it's hard going, but when it's good and when it's going well, there's nothing like it.
Now, Donna Tartt is a famously reclusive writer. She doesn't do very many interviews. She writes a book about once every 10 years, and so she kind of just pops up every 10 years to do a media cycle for her next book and then kind of disappears in between. I do this with every single writer I really like. I go on a massive deep dive after I finish reading their work and I go try and watch like every interview they've ever done. But I've watched a lot of Donna Tartt interviews and I've read a lot of her interviews as well, and I've scoured the internet and I've found as much as I could find about her writing routine, and so that is the routine we're going to be attempting in this video. In the Haruki Murakami video, I attempted it for a whole week. The Virginia Woolf routine I attempted for a whole month. This one is going to be a little bit more petite. I only have 3 days, but I am going to try this routine for the next 3 days nonetheless. So what exactly is Donna Tartt's writing routine? When it comes to the writing itself, Tartt writes first by hand, scribbling notes in red and blue pencil and stapling note cards to the pages. It's only after these early iterations begin to tatter that she starts typing. Indeed, a key part of her process is to submerge herself in the world she's creating. While writing The Goldfinch, for instance, she spent months living in a hotel in New York, where large sections of her book is set. I'm writing a fantasy novel, so that one's a little bit more tricky for me. I'm also currently in draft 2 of my story, so it doesn't really make sense for me to go back and start writing things out on paper, because that would kind of be counterproductive to me working on the story. And part of me doing these writing routines is that I want to find systems that work for me as a writer as well. We're not going to be able to do the first 2 parts of this. However, I am also aware that for The Goldfinch specifically, Donna Tartt spent a lot of time writing in the New York Public Library.
I write in the library I wrote a lot of Goldfinch in the New York Public Library, in the Allen Room of the New York Public Library, which was wonderful. If you need a character, all you have to do is look up people walking back and forth. It's like being an artist sketching at a sidewalk cafe.
In terms of the nitty-gritty of her writing process, in this interview she says, "I write for 3 hours in the morning. If it isn't going well, I'll stop and do something else. But if it's going well, I'll work until I'm tired. I like to work in quiet rooms. City noises don't bother me, but I can't stand overhearing a television. But I can really work almost anywhere." And then when asked about if she listens to music while she works, she says, "Baroque music helps me concentrate.
If it's not Baroque, don't fix it."
She was asked if she listens to any modern music, and she said like a few people, but she also said Lana Del Rey, which I wasn't expecting, but also I'm not surprised by that at all for some reason. Anyway, Lana Del Rey aside, in addition to working 3 hours in the morning every single day, if she's having a good writing day, she'll also write until nighttime.
If I've had a hard day, I'll quit, I'll knock off, I'll go do something else. But if I'm on a run, if I'm doing well, I'm like a gambler, I don't want to get up from the table.
Every day I'm gonna go write in the library to recreate what Donna Tartt did with the New York Public Library. I'm gonna write for at least 3 hours a day, and if I'm having a very good writing day, I'm going to let myself keep writing, which is not the type of thing that I generally do. Generally, I have too much other work to do. I'm self-employed, so I'm constantly trying to juggle like many different tasks. And so generally, if I'm having a writing day that's really good, it can be really frustrating for me because I often have to stop and get up from the table and go do something else. For the purposes of this video, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to keep writing. We're going to see how we go. And then the last element of this particular routine that I'm going to take as well is not specifically a part of her writing routine per se, but Donna Tartt consistently, after she finishes writing, will go and read books.
When I'm writing all day, I long for my book at the end of the day, and I'm always very much looking forward to it. That's my treat. And so it's chosen very carefully. I only read what I want to read and not what I feel I should. But often what I want to read is something that's being plowed back into the book.
The books that she reads tend to link back in thematically with the work that she's working on. And so that's what I'm also going to do as well. Once I finish writing for the day, I'm going to pick up one of the novels that has thematically informed Project Teacup, which is the novel that I'm currently working on. And that is essentially the writing routine that I'm going to be trying out in this video. Before we jump into it though, I just wanted to thank the sponsor of this video, which is Squarespace. I have spoken about Squarespace quite a bit on my channel. They are a website builder, which allows people to create striking and beautiful websites. Squarespace is the platform that I use for my website, and I think that it's brilliant. I love that it's affordable. I love that there are loads of templates which are really easy to use. It's super quick to set up your site and to get everything looking lovely. Squarespace has a wide range of benefits, including powerful blogging tools, so you can share, categorize, and schedule posts, and also in-depth analytics features to help you understand the people who are visiting your website. If you're looking to make a website, go to squarespace.com for a free trial. And when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/ChristyAnnJones to save 10% off your purchase of a website or domain. Day one of this particular challenge is now upon us. I suppose it's not really a challenge per se, because this routine is a lot more comfortable to me than the previous two were. It's sort of just like trying out Donna Tartt's behavior. It's not nearly as grueling as having to get up at like 4 a.m. every single day for a whole week. God, that ruined me for a while. Today is day one, and we're gonna head out in a second and go to the library, but first I need to pack my bag and organize my stuff so that we can go. This is what, hello, awkward small angle. This is what we need to bring today. So backpack, tablet and keyboard, glasses case and glasses cleaner, wallet, notebook. I always put one pen into my bag and then I get anxious that one particular pen's gonna run out and not work, and then I put another pen in and then I'm like, well, what if that one doesn't work too? And then we end up with this. Hand sanitizer, because the times in which we live. The strongest lip balm that I could find at Priceline. This has nothing to do with Donna Tartt, this is just for me. Drink bottle. Should this really go in the same compartment as my tablet? Probably not. Is it going to anyway? Yes. Keys. For the second draft of the novel that I'm working on, which is going by the name Project Teacup, is currently at 75,852 words. If I was writing a contemporary novel, that would be almost done by now, but it's not, because it's the novel that I'm writing anyway. So today we're going to go to the library, we're going to work for 3 hours, let's see how we go. I have been writing all day basically. I spent a decent chunk of time at the library and I got a bunch of stuff done, but the novel, let me give you guys an update. It's currently sitting at 79,543 words. We are so close to 80k. It's a really, really exciting milestone, but that means we wrote a total of 3,691 words. The experience of writing at the library in the Mortlock wing was good. I've written there before. I really like the ambience in that library. I think it's really pretty. Today though, because we're getting close to Christmas, they had a really big Christmas tree and they were playing Christmas carols. And so it was kind of a nice, cozy, Christmassy vibe. I really liked it. Really comfortable space because it's quite dark. It's not too bright, it's not too distracting. And I quite like the chairs as well. So it's a pretty comfortable and beautiful, absolutely stunning place to write. I'm feeling excited to go back to the library tomorrow and to keep working. I am, however, at this point at now 6:59 p.m. ready to give up writing for today. I feel really tired. I'm ready to be done. And now that it's getting later, later. I'm gonna have dinner in a second. Tyler is in the kitchen making dinner at the moment. You might be able to hear him bustling around. After dinner, I'm going to be reading one of the books that thematically informs my story. I have told everyone so little about this novel that I'm working on. Like, aside from the fact that it's an adult fantasy and that it's gonna be 100,000 words in the end, I have told everyone nothing about the main characters or the vibe or the setting or like anything. The book that I'm gonna be reading, which thematically informs the story, Project Teacup, the novel that I'm working on, is The Picture of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde. Do with that information what you will. Many of you guys know that this is one of my favorite books of all time. I've already read this book this year. In fact, I annotated this copy this year, actually. Anyway, I love this book to absolute pieces. I've read it many, many times at this point, and this is what I'm going to be reading tonight. Today is day number 2 of this particular challenge. I am just fiddling around with my visual planning stuff, all my little sticky notes and all my little plot beats and all of my color-coded just nonsense. Although, given how much Donna Tartt likes to color-code things, it's not nonsense in the context of this video because it's on theme. If only these were handwritten index cards, then it would fit the routine even better. I'm just doing some edits on these little cards and I'm trying to problem solve some little bits of the story right now. It's a lot easier for me to do this on my desktop and then just use the app when I'm using my tablet at the library. So I'm quickly getting some stuff done and then I'm gonna head off to the library. It's nice to have a place to go that isn't your house, right? Like that's my room. I work within like 3 meters of the place where I sleep. So working from home and working out of a 1-bedroom apartment can be a little bit challenging, especially during the summer because this apartment gets very stuffy and warm. So I am really enjoying going to the library. I really like it. I don't do it very often, but I really should do it more. In this room giving you guys an update because my partner is currently on Discord with his friends. If you listen very closely, you might be able to hear him. It's been a very big, very big writing day today. I spent many hours writing, and when I get really bogged down in writing, I find it quite challenging to pick up the camera and to keep filming and to sort of multitask because I get so hyper-focused on my work. But in total, the story is currently sitting at 82,132 words. We cracked 80k today, and that means that we had a net positive of 2,589 words. That does not feel representative. Like, that's a lot of words, don't get me wrong. I know a lot of people, their daily word count is like 500 words, 1,000 words. The last thing I want to do is sit here and whinge about 2,000 words and be like, oh, it's not enough, when that's many words. But I spent a very long time writing today. As I said, I didn't stop myself when I felt like I was on a roll. I kept writing. I came home after going to the library, had lunch, kept writing, had dinner, went back to my desk, kept writing. Honestly, if I didn't have other work commitments, I would just go full hermit mode and just be writing this constantly. That's basically how my brain works. I leaned into that today. I lent into that today. And that meant that I had a very, very long writing day. But the reason why I didn't write as many words as I probably could have today is because I had a problem in chapter 22. It was one of those red flags that I got to. Red flag is maybe not the best way to describe it. It was one of those little problems that I got to and I was like, this is going to cause problems later on. If I don't address this now, this is going to have a through line of problematic outcomes. And if I don't fix this one particular thing, it's going to be a bad time for me in a month's time, in 3 months' time. And so I kind of had to go back and rejig a whole bunch of stuff. There was this character whose scene wasn't working very well, and even though I wanted it to go one particular way, I am definitely a discovery writer when it comes to characterization. I very much want to feel my way. I feel like a lot of it is really intuitive. Potentially, this was a challenging week to film this vlog because I'm not going to get the amazing, wonderful, huge word count that maybe I would have hoped for, but it's more important that I take my time to work on the problems of the story, fix the things I need to fix, and not really focus on word count for this one little problem that I'm problem solving and fixing. And that's the type of thing that you do in draft 2. That's what draft 2s are for, and then draft 3s are for making things even better. And I'm not going to get intimidated by this, but it has been a fun time. It's currently 12:19 a.m. It's past midnight, and I don't know if I'm gonna get back to Dorian Gray tonight. I think I'm probably just gonna go to sleep. We are currently on day number 3 of my attempt of Donna Tartt's writing routine. I'm about to head out to the library. I think I am going to go to a different library today. Because I had so much trouble yesterday with finding a seat, I think I'm going to go to the library that's in the University of Adelaide. So that's like the... Oh my god, my brain just went blank. God, I went to university here. I have a significant extent to this place. The Bar Smith Library, the reading room there, which is very, very pretty, and I have filmed there before. Currently sitting at 82,000 words. I'm hoping to crack 85k today. That would be amazing. I do still think I have quite a bit of editing to do, but I'm happy that I'm sort of getting through all of that editing stuff right now and just like making a lot of headway and putting a lot of hours into it. It's honestly the big thing with this particular routine for me is that it encourages me to just keep writing and be a little goblin and sit at my desk and then just work and work and work, which is wonderful. It's wonderful in the context of this vlog. Ordinarily it wouldn't be so wonderful because it would mean I wouldn't get the rest of my work done. But anyway, we're gonna head off. We're gonna go to the reading room. We're gonna listen to classical music. Hopefully we can crack 85k today, and then we'll come home and read a novel that thematically informs the story. Let's go for day 3 of this writing challenge. Finished with this challenge, this much more petite challenge than normal. I was surprised at how easy at how easy it felt in comparison to getting up at 4 a.m. every day, or in comparison to forcing myself to journal every single day for a month. On day 1, I wrote 3,691 words. On day 2, I wrote 2,589 words. And on day 3, I wrote 2,920 words. These are, as I mentioned earlier, net positives because I wrote a lot. I'm not trying to sandbag this. These are good word counts, but I wrote a lot more than that. It's just that I also deleted a lot of stuff and I edited a lot of stuff. So with all that in mind, I wrote exactly 9,200 words over the course of me trying out Donna Tartt's writing routine. Now, what did I learn from trying this particular routine? Number 1, Baroque music is just too funny to me. Writing in the library was wonderful. I really enjoyed it. It's something that I do every now and then, but it's not something that I do consistently, and I think it would be a really wonderful thing for me to incorporate into my routine, especially because, as I've mentioned, I'm self-employed, I work from home, I spend a lot of time in the same space, and so I think maybe going to the library would be a good inclusion to my general routine. I think it would be really good. I think I do like the state library better just because it's so unoverwhelming with like all of like the dark cozy corners and everything. It's really beautiful. I think I just need to make an effort to get there early enough so I can actually get a table, and then going back and rereading the books that are thematically informing the novel that I'm working on. That was a really wonderful thing to do. Part of the problem with me is that as a book content creator, I'm often reading books as a part of my job, so it's challenging for me to just only read books that inform my writing and only read books that feed back into the work. Of course, I'm constantly doing that. I'm always doing that. I'm always picking up books and reading stories and doing research and stuff, but I do that in addition to reading all of the other books that I need to read in order to do what I do as a job. So yes, I really enjoyed doing that. It's probably not something that I can do all of the time just because of the volume of other books that I want to read and need to read for work. And then the final point, which I think I skipped over, which is when you're on a roll, not getting up from the table. I loved doing that. I thought that was wonderful. I really enjoyed giving myself the space to just work as much as I wanted. I think that is a particularly dangerous game for me though, because writing is something that I can put an infinite amount of time into. I have other work commitments, so if I incorporate this, if I'm on a roll, don't get up from the table thing, I will simply not do the rest of my job, which would be very bad. Let's try to have some healthy work boundaries. Maybe in the future, possibly one day a week, I could have a day where I'm like, okay, if you're writing really well, you don't have to stop. Just write as much as you want. But I really hope you guys enjoyed this vlog. Please let me know if there are any other writing challenges you'd like me to do, other people's writing routines you'd like to see. An enormous thank you to everyone over on Patreon for supporting my channel. Over on Patreon, we have a whole bunch of lovely bonus content, bonus videos, our book club, our private Discord server. I do writing updates over there. I do a whole bunch of different stuff. So if you'd like to check out Patreon, there's a link in the description down below. Take care everyone, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.